Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, my name is Jessie and I do all kinds of lifestyle videos all about wellness, self-employment, living with chronic illness, vlogs, all that kind of stuff, and trying to just take you through my life as I figure things out as I go along. So today's video is actually telling you a few of my goals or hopes that I have going into my 33rd year. So instead of doing goals at the beginning of the year as resolutions, things like that, in fact, I took you guys through a video of intention setting and setting my word for the year. And I can link that in the cards up above so you can watch that if you're interested. But what I do like to do, since my birthday is at the end of January, in fact, if you're watching this, my birthday is tomorrow, the 30th of January. So one of the things that I like to do is set a few goals for myself, a few hopes for myself. As someone, I talked about this in my intentions video, but I am someone who's very goal oriented, who has been working through perfectionism and I didn't want to set like these hard line goals that I never meet. And it's not that I'm, not pushing myself or being goal oriented. I still am, but instead of setting these like specific goals of like, I'm going to make $10,000 months by this day and I'm going to pay off all my debt by this day, I wanted to be a little bit more fluid with my goals this year, especially after last year, 2020. Not many of my goals worked themselves out because we went into a global pandemic, and some of the things just weren't possible anymore. So instead, I made some goals based on how I want to feel. So if you didn't watch that intentions video, I'll just give you a quick little snippet of what my words were or are for the year. I chose my main word as cherish, but I also chose the word nourish because I think that they kind of can go together and mean similar things throughout my journey. Plus, I just have a difficult time making decisions, so I did 2 words instead of 1. So all of these goals are based on, those are the feelings that I want to feel this year. That's the intention that I want to feel this year. So all of my goals feed into that. How will these things make me feel cherished, make me feel nourished, make me feel like I'm cherishing or nourishing someone or something else? So that's where that's about. So anyway, without further ado, I wanted to take you through some of my goals for the year. And then I want you guys to let me know down in the comments, what's one of your goals for the year? Or if you're not making goals this year, what is a word or an intention that you really want to focus on this year? I would love to know, so let me know in the comments below. But let's get started. So I'm looking at my computer right now. I have some notes. So if you're wondering why I'm looking down, that's why. But my first goal is to make connections, especially with females. So it's not that I'm leaving out anyone that doesn't identify as a female or men or anything like that. But one thing that I've noticed in my lifetime is that I crave having female connection, but I haven't been really good at finding it. And when I do find it, I feel like it's really hard for me to let another woman in, honestly. So one of the things I've really been working on is kind of working through that barrier or that wall that I've set for myself. And I want to really try to dig a little deeper into my friendships and not make them be so surface level, and also like find new friendships. I would love to find a few friends in the North Carolina area that I could actually see in person one day if the pandemic ever ends. But even that like virtual friendships, like for example, I do have a couple of very close friends, but they live very far from me, and my best friend lives in California. So I do send her like a voice memo every day, but I even want to like dig into that friendship more. Like, how can I be a better friend? How can I like create that connection? So that's something that I really want to do this year, not be afraid of, not move away from. And it's just something that I really want to cherish the friendships that I do have and nourish myself with loving friendships with women who give me just as much as I give them. That's something that's really important to me. The second one is actually my only numeric goal but it is to surpass 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love it if you would stick around here and we could continue to get to know each other. But I've actually been doing YouTube for 8 years, 7 years. I had started a previous channel and then I moved over to this channel a few years ago because I hadn't used that channel in over a year and I didn't feel like those subscribers were even paying attention at that point. So I moved to this channel to kind of restart. And if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I've like changed topics a lot because I've been told by a lot of business coaches that you need to focus on one thing. And I really struggle with that because I don't want to talk about one thing. I don't want to talk about budgeting only. I don't want to talk about vlogs only. So what I've been really working on is how can I make this a lifestyle channel? How can I talk about different things happening in my life? But also bringing them into one cohesive space. So if you come to my channel, you're not like, well, what is this girl talking about? You can kind of see how they all wrap together and hopefully you'll want to watch every video. And if you don't, that's okay too. But for the most part, that they all kind of fit into this sphere of who I am and you can really get to know that piece of me. So, but one of the things I really want to surpass that 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I think that's just like a goal that everybody has. Of course, there's like the monetary goal of it, but I think it's just the fact of like getting to 1,000 subscribers feels like there's more people listening to you, that you're connecting with more people. And my growth has been very, very, very slow, and that's totally okay. But it is something I want to work on this year, and I'm planning to do that by continuing to create meaningful, authentic videos every week. I try to do 2 videos a week. Sometimes there'll be more, but I really want to stick to 2 videos a week. And I want to stop putting so much pressure on myself to do what everybody tells me I have to do. I do believe that you do have to like focus it in a little bit, but I also don't believe that I can only talk about one thing. And if that's the type of YouTube channel that you like to watch, is like someone that only talks about budgeting or only talks about chronic illness or only talks about something else, this is probably not going to be what all my videos are, and that's okay. So learning how to work through that, learning how to be able to continue to be creative in creating content is really important to me. It's something that I love to do, and I want to be able to focus on that this year. The next one is about my business, and I didn't set any specific business goals, honestly, because I don't want to, and I don't want to put that pressure on myself. As someone, I was the breadwinner before, and I focused on working because I had to, and now I want to focus on working because I want to. I want to connect with clients who fit with me, who I really enjoy working with, and vice versa, that they can tell that I'm really invested in their brand and I really care about them and where their vision is going. So that's kind of my focus this year, is continuing to create a business that allows me the space to live my life while also caring about my work. So that's something that's really important to me. I've actually been pretty good in that. And for the most part, there's been a few boundaries I've had to set up, and I've actually, like, one of my clients and I didn't end up staying together because we weren't on the same page. And that's okay. And that's something that I'm working through learning how to do. So that's kind of where I'm at with my business. The next one is to cherish and nourish my body every single day. So that does not mean that I'm going to work out every day, that I'm going to eat perfectly every day, that I'm going to sleep perfectly every day. It just means that every day I'm going to consciously make sure that I am cherishing or nourishing my body in some way. That could mean a walk. That could mean listening to my body when it's too tired for a workout. That could mean putting food into my body that makes me feel my best. So non-inflammatory foods for me are like no gluten, no dairy, no rice, no corn. Those tend to be things that make me kind of puff up like crazy. So it's not saying I'll never eat those things, but it's saying that like every day I'm trying to take care of myself the best way that I can. The next one is I want to cherish and nourish my marriage with Ben. I think that sometimes people see marriages or relationships online and they think that they're perfect, and my marriage is not perfect. We almost broke up when we were engaged, and we're still working through some of the trauma that we've been through with both of our illnesses. But we make the conscious choice every day to continue our relationship and to continue working together to create the type of foundation that we want to have and to foster the type of relationship that we want. So that's something that I really want to continue to focus on this year. I think we're both doing the best that we can, and we have been, we made a lot of strides in the last year, and it's something I want to continue to do. So not only are we like setting ourselves up for success, but we're setting our future family up for success. And kind of the piece I was talking about with like nourishing and taking care of my body, it's also taking care of my relationship, so that when we do have children or do start a family, we have like a solid foundation. And I think that we're pretty solid now, but just like continuing to foster those things so that whenever that does happen, we don't feel like we have to play a lot of catch up, if you know what I mean. Next one is to lean into my faith and spirituality. I would not consider myself a religious person. I am non-denominational, but I do believe in God. I do believe in a higher power. I believe in all of that kind of stuff. So I really want to lean into that a bit more. I think in the last couple of years, I have let that slip, and I can tell just based on the way that I react in the regular world. So it's something that I really want to lean into more, become more connected to, and start to let some of my walls down around that and open myself up to that again. The next one kind of fits into, actually the next two fit into one, so I'll tap them together, but find a safe way to see family this year and to travel. So for me, that just means, obviously, if it is illegal or there is a global pandemic, then I will not. But traveling more can mean going to small Airbnbs with just Ben, doing road trips, going for day trips, anything like that where we don't necessarily need to go in anywhere. In fact, one of my favorite trips was when we went to, Cora's snoring over here, was when we went to the mountains in Asheville, and it was just Ben, Cora, and I, and we didn't see one single person, and it was wonderful. So doing things like that where we're still being safe with what's going on in the world, not putting ourselves or anyone else at risk, but we're also getting out a little bit more. My extrovert has really been struggling this last year, so I want to just get out, feel more creatively inspired, and be able to see more of the world. And then last but not least is to spend less time in front of screens. So I work in social media and online business management. I love creating YouTube videos. I love watching YouTube videos. I love watching Instagram and TikTok and all of those things, which you should follow me if you're not already. Shameless plug. But I don't want to be on them every single second of the day. In 2020 with the pandemic, I used screens as a way to distract myself from how afraid I felt. And it's just ended up making me feel really bad. So it's just something I want to be conscious of, the amount of time I'm spending on screens, the amount of time and energy I'm putting into other people's lives without fostering my own life and growing my own wants and loves and needs. So I have no intention of like not being on social media, not being on YouTube, not, working online, but I just don't want to constantly be on screens. I just want to pull that back a little bit, get a little bit better at finding things that I love outside of screen time. That's really important to me. So those are my goals or intentions for my 30-30 year. I'm really grateful to be going into year 33. I have just had this deep knowing that my 30-30 year is going to be a spectacular one. So I'm looking forward to being 33 and all that it has to offer me and all that I'm going to learn from it. And yeah, excited for Aquarius season. No one else is, but I am. But that's the way it is. So thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you haven't already, let me know what like one of your goals is or intentions or words for the year. And I'll have linked down below any videos that might be interesting for you to watch after this one. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out, listening to me talk about different things happening in my life. And if there's ever anything you want me to talk about, please let me know and I will definitely do it. But I will see you in the next video. Bye.